in this video, I'm going to go over the exact script that we use for Loom Outreach, which has generated us over $2 million revenue. And it's also the same script that we have used for over 40 agencies to generate them consistent calls. I'm going to walk you through it step by step. And also there is a link below this video for you to just copy and paste it into ChatGPT or your AI of choice. So you can just plug and play, put it straight into your agency today. So there is a link just below this video, but I'd strongly recommend you watch this video all the way through before using it so you know how to get the best out of it. To begin with, I just want to give you some context and overview of the system that we're building so you know where it fits in. So we grew our business by manually doing Loom Outreach to begin with. We essentially locked ourselves in a hut with the Charlie Morgan course that we'd pirated and just copied his Loom Outreach strategy, which was simple. You'd build a list and then you would sit on your computer and you would record looms. However, over the past 2 years, this approach has been completely reinvented and refined such that we can do it at scale for both ourselves and other businesses that we work with. There are sort of 2 different ways that you can do this at scale today, and I'm going to walk through both of them very quickly now and kind of talk about where the script sits in with that. One way to do this is to send videos to every prospect. So let's say you build a list of 100 prospects. You're going to send all 100 prospects a video. But in order to do that at scale, for example, we're sending maybe 10,000 outreaches a month for us at the moment, you need to automate it. So we automate it through a software called PitchLane, and I'll just show that right now. So essentially we automate it using PitchLane, where you would log in, you would record the video once, you would then put your lead list into PitchLane, and it's going to overlay that video onto each prospect's website so that each prospect feels like they get a personalized video. So as you can see, we have made a lot of these campaigns. Essentially what it looks like in practice is something like this. So this is outreach that we're doing for us, and I'll just show you what it looks like. So we'd message them, happy Wednesday, we connect marketing agencies with local service businesses, resulting in 2 to 3 additional clients per month, and do so on a pay on results basis. And then we have this video. So this video has only been shot once, but PitchLane has done this thing where it overlays it over the prospect's website. So this is Daniel talking here. You can see it's on their website, does a little bit of a website scroll, moves around a little bit. All right. So depending on the industry, this can get really good results. The more sophisticated the industry, the more outreach they get, the more they probably do want a more personalized video. And in order to do that, what we do is a slightly different approach, where instead of sending, let's say there's 1,000 leads, instead of making them 1,000 videos in this automated way, we essentially ask all 1,000 leads, hey, do you want a video? And then for the ones that say yes, we then send them a personalized video. So here's an example of what that looks like in action, and you can kind of see how it's a little bit different. So in this one, we said, would you want me to send over a video explainer? They said yes. And so Daniel went and made an actual Loom video. So if you click on this, it actually just goes to Loom. And this is, instead of this one being, I think this is around 90 seconds, this one is now 5 minutes 50. And the crux of what is said in the email is the same, except it's now molded specifically to this business. So these are 2 different approaches and they both work. However, they are slightly different. So this is the one at the top. Essentially, everyone gets email 1 and email 2. The reason why we don't send the video in the first email is just because of deliverability issues. So all 1,000 leads in your lead list will get the video. This other option is essentially you email them asking if they want a video. If they don't reply, you follow up asking if they want a video. And then if they say yes, you manually create them a Loom video. So now I want to talk about some common mistakes that we see. The number one mistake, or a very often mistake that we see, is that people try and sell their product or service in the video. You're not trying to sell your product or service in this Loom video. When you're doing Loom Outreach, you're not trying to sell your product or service. The goal of the video is to move them down the sales pipeline or the sales funnel. And you do that by building rapport. And you do that by being genuine and genuinely believing that you have something that's going to help them and communicating that you genuinely believe this, right? And so this is not done by being all prim and proper and saying, hi there, my name is Hawani and I am the president of Carrots Not Sticks, It's done by being genuine, and it's done through your tonality. The script that I'm going to show you is important. What you say is important. But more important than that is the tonality showing that you're genuine. So if you say, hey there, sorry, I know it's a bit odd for you to get a video over email, but I'm sure you get emails all day. And I really did want to reach out to you because I have something that I think is going to help you and is going to help grow your business. That is a lot more genuine and it's going to work a lot better. So you're not trying to sell your product or service. As the goal is to start to build a relationship with the prospect. You're trying to sell them that it is worth their time to jump onto a sales call, or to look at the material, or to do whatever the next step in your sales funnel is. Okay. The second mistake is you're just not doing enough volume. So a lot of people that come to us because they've done some outreach. Maybe they do 500, 1,000, 2,000 outreaches a month, and they're getting some result, but they just can't see how they're going to get enough results, right? You want to be sending 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000, 20,000 outreaches a month, right? That way you're going to get the volume, the reps, the market learnings, the understanding to build a robust system, okay? So just as a bit of a reality check, typical core booked rate is 0.5 to 1% off Loom outreach at the moment. And if you see people on LinkedIn that have far better results, then fantastic. I definitely don't know everything. So if they're doing better than that, then good on them. Typically, it's because they have quite a small total addressable market and a niche offer for that total addressable market, which means that they'll run out of that TAM before getting consistent sales calls, typically. So if you want 10 sales calls a week, you need to be sending 10 to 20,000, so 1,000 to 2,000 videos per week. And you can see that you just cannot do this at scale unless you're going with one of these two approaches. Okay. So now I'm going to talk about the script that we use in these videos. And again, both of the approaches that I showed above, both this one. So now I'm going to talk about the script. So the script, the crux of the script is both the same in this manual one and this automated one. The manual one's just a lot longer because we can talk about a few case studies relevant to them. But this is the script, and this is what you can find down below. So can you please rewrite the script, however, change the relevant industry instead? These are the types of jobs they find desired are job types, otherwise keep the script similar as possible, okay? So what you can do is copy and paste this. And as an example, let's say you are an agency and you can help plumbing companies grow through your marketing services. So I'm going to change this to industry, plumbing companies, and you help them grow by getting more corporate contracts with property managers, something like this. All right. So this is important. You need to understand, first of all, what industry you're going after. And if you want to watch some other videos of mine, there's other videos about which industry you should pick. And being specific about the job types. Cool, you can get them leads, you can get them in, you could say inbound leads, you could say outbound leads. I just want some sort of specificity about the types of ways that you can help them grow. Okay. Then this is your script that you're going to go with. And don't get too hung up, especially on the first bit. Why? You want it to feel natural for the first couple of sentences. If you can go a couple of sentences being genuine and then read it, that is completely fine and that works well. When we are getting other people to record their script, because we're doing outreach on their behalf, I always say, just make sure the opening feels genuine and then you can go into reading this. So I will go through this and you can see how it works. And this should come out to around 90 seconds. Hey, hope you're well. This is Hawani here. I know it's a bit odd getting a video via email, but I'm sure you get emails all day. I know I get emails all day, so I just thought I'd put a face to the name and say hi and kind of talk through why I really wanted to reach out to you. So we help plumbing companies generate more new jobs, and this kind of depends on the time of year, but these range from ongoing maintenance to emergency call-outs to larger fit-outs and corporate service contracts. So we're really dialed in on getting more of the corporate side of jobs as opposed to the residential jobs. And these are usually day-to-day maintenance jobs for property managers. And the reason why we can get more of those is because we've built relationships in the industry And we know that plumbing companies like yourself want more reoccurring jobs, but they're also larger long-term contracts that provide consistent work and predictable revenue. And there's kind of two reasons why I specifically wanted to make a video for you and reach out. So from what I'm seeing in the market at the moment, there's lots of opportunity for the types of work that you guys are doing. And secondly, you guys have a great reputation, and that's super important for us because we can only work with plumbing companies that have a good reputation because it reflects well on us. And if we just work with anyone, then it could damage our sort of reputation. So I wasn't sure on the best way to touch base with you. So I thought I'd make you this quick video. So hopefully you appreciate the personal touch. I'd love to unpack this on a longer call if you're open to it, and ultimately see if the types of jobs that we can generate for you align with the types of jobs that you want more of. I think it could be a great fit. So if you've made it this far, I really appreciate it. Just respond back to this email and we can find a time if that's something you're open to. Cheers. Okay, so that is the angle. And when we do it manually, all we do is we can typically go onto like their reviews or their case studies and say like, yeah, so I can see from these, when you're talking about, reputation, you showed their reputation. And when you talk about types of work, you can show their types of work and link it, right? So you're just trying to essentially tie it a bit further, but the crux of what is going on here is the same. So like I said, you can copy and paste this script and put it onto your AI of choice. And again, there's an example outcome here. So this script is a fraction of what we have used in the system that we have built to generate over $2 million in revenue from cold email. There are quite a lot of moving parts that all need to fit together. If you'd like us to build out the system for you, and you can see if the way that we operate is going to be a good fit for your business, then there should be a link below this video that you can click. But if you'd like to learn the full strategy for yourself, I've just posted a 1.5 hour long video going through the full process, and that should be on screen now. I'll see you there. Peace.